I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Are you ready to see Stephen Colbert? So let's try this again. Who wants to be on TV today?
This is my last day working at The Late Show, ladies and gentlemen. And then one guy's like, good! I'm kidding. Tonight on the Tom Kelly Show podcast, we're going to talk about the last episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and the decline of late night TV. And listen, if you've been following me, I know I have fans who've been following me since I was 14. You know that this one hurts for me. Here I am recording a show on an iPhone into a remote microphone when I'd rather be working in the Ed Sullivan Theater. So what do you say we start the show? You say goodbye, I say hello. I watched the last episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night. I have to say it was a mix of sentiment and old-fashioned comedy. It was a statement about how the world is changing with comedy. I mean, one politically, you know, when we talk about pressures from Trump, pressures from the FCC to close a late night show, and, you know, pressures from the changes in the business of late night. Where are you guys from?
Utah.
Utah? All Utah. Do you watch Colbert?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sad he's going?
Yes.
Okay. What does the end of late night or the end of the Late Show mean to you?
Oh, it's very sad. It's going to be, my whole routine is now going to be messed up because I need Stephen Colbert to get me through these hard days.
And you watched him traditionally after your local news at night?
Yes, every day.
See, I watched the Colbert finale this morning. But that's the perfect way for me to start the show. Get the hell out of here, Utah. Yes, you have to remember, I just said it out loud. I'm a professional comedian who watched the late night show the first thing when I woke up this morning. So take that, Good Morning America, Today Show, and CBS This Morning. I watched a late night show in the morning, and that probably is a great statement about whether or not the late night format is still relevant. But I'm going to tell you, full disclosure, I have worked at Stephen Colbert. He and his team let me live a wonderful dream of performing on the Ed Sullivan Theater stage. And not only is there no more Colbert, remember, there's no more Late Show. CBS might be leaving the Ed Sullivan Theater, and the Colbert joke about it is, take one last look before they turn it into a spirit Halloween. But let's talk about Colbert's impact on late night and my own love and fascination with the late night. And maybe I'll show you a couple of clips of me living a dream. Let me show you some of the joys of performing on Stephen Colbert's Late Show stage at the Ed Sullivan Theater. You have to remember, Colbert, the Late Show, killer fan base. People who love comedy. Tourists from around the world who want to laugh and maybe are patriotic in their own individual ways. People who have good hearts, you know, liberal-leaning people who care about the world. So they're willing to play ball. They're so hyped to see Stephen. The way the staff used to get people in, the theater was cold. You know, like when you see me perform at other TV shows, the venues were always just a little too hot, so I would sweat through the shirt. Here, the crowd was pumped before they even got in. The crowd was ready to play ball, and here's a quick clip of me asking out for the 80th time WB TV news anchor Jana Angel.
I'm with the audience at The Late Show! Who thinks my friend Jana should invite me to North Carolina? Who thinks she should come to New York City?
I mean, seriously, how could you say no to that? Also, Letterman. Before I knew Letterman would even be in this theater, my mom worked for a special needs school called United Cerebral Palsy, and they would have their annual telethon in the Ed Sullivan Theater. And my mom took me here to see the New Kids on the Block with, I think my brother was there too, And we wound up in the balcony of the Ed Sullivan Theater running around like goofy kids. We got autographs from all of the new kids' parents. And I remember giving them to another girl, Elena Weinstein, who, did not date me in high school. Hi, Elena. I'm still around. Anyway, but, a fun one. Listen, my mom and dad are very supportive of my career. And I've had a lot of highs. And I always like to use the joke. My mom and dad are very supportive of their idiot son who wants to be a comedian, even if they don't find me particularly funny. And here's a quick clip of me being able to achieve what felt like one of the high points of my career and share it with someone who's been very supportive. I'm subbing in today. This is my last day working at The Late Show, ladies and gentlemen. And then one guy's like, good! I'm trying to FaceTime my mom. Here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my mom! Mom! So, real quick, I want to say I have two great parents. Is Dad in the room too?
No, he's
Nobody cares, Mom. It's okay. It's okay. But I wanted to say in public, in front of people, I am a stand-up comedian. I have been very successful at certain times, and that's because I have two very supportive parents. And they've been very supportive when you consider that neither of them think I am particularly funny. But I wanted to, really quick, when I was a kid, my first time ever in TV was here at the Ed Sullivan Theater. My mom was a special needs teacher for a place called United Cerebral Palsy. She took me here to see the New Kids on the Block right up there. And we got all of the New Kids autographs, and I gave them to a girl, Elena Weinstein, who was the first girl ever to shoot me down. So, fuck, Elena. No. All right, Mom, we gotta go. Can we say we love you, Mom? Wait, real quick, Mom, are you crying?
Nope.
Nope. Little bit, Mom? Cry, Mom. All right, one more time for my mom, everybody. I think it's important to say that the end of The Late Show, the end of Colbert's Late Show, is, one, the end of a type of television. Like the lady from Utah was just saying, there are people who watch TV on broadcast TV from 7 to 10, 7 to 11, whatever it is, and then 11 to 11:30 they watch their local news and they end their night with a laugh. They end their night with humor. And, now is that necessary when you consider me, a guy who dreamed of hosting a TV show in that theater, can now host a successful podcast with an iPhone by himself in the city bike section across the street from the historic theater. It's probably, and remember, for the half an hour that you're watching my show today, that's half an hour you're not watching broadcast TV. Let's own the elephant in the room. Let's own the elephant in the room. One, is Colbert getting pushed out by Trump and the FCC? F yes. CBS and the Paramount Skydance Corporation is trying to merge with other corporations. They need FCC approvals, and they know they gotta kiss the president's ass. They gotta kiss President Trump's ass. Now, I'll go the other way for a minute. Is Colbert a little meaner to Trump even before all of this? Yes. I say this as a guy who has voted Republican quite a bit. It's just easier to make a Republican joke, one. Two, it's hard to make fun of Democrats, especially Biden. It's like making fun of your elderly grandpa who forgot to take his pills. Trump is a little mean and gives back, so it's just easier to make fun of Trump. 2, I'm going to say this. Unlike a lot of the other liberal comedians who make fun of Donald Trump, Stephen Colbert is funny. Like, there's a lot of comedians in New York City who for their Trump jokes, they'll just go blah, 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 deport immigrants, fuck Trump, and they'll get their applause break on just saying F Trump. And that wasn't Colbert. There was always something smart. Again, in comedy, there's always like the shocking punchline, which could be F Trump. And then there's also like the twist and the approval, like what you agree with. Colbert was always good at the twist. There was always something twisty about it. You know, and what's the twist? The joke you didn't expect. Colbert is kind. Something to put into the history books on Stephen Colbert. Unlike a lot of other TV shows where the hosts and personalities told you to stay home, don't worry, things will be better in a few weeks, other shows laid off their employees. I'm talking to you, ABC. Colbert, he made sure his staff and crew were financially taken care of, much better than any other TV show I know. Another one about Stephen Colbert. And you ready for a funny one? I've worked for him 30 times. I haven't seen him in person in 16 years. You know, he and I have not locked eyes. I owe him nothing other than 30 good days of substitute work. More so than other TV show hosts. When you ask a crew member, what do you think of Stephen Colbert? They'll say he's a great guy. They may not always say I agree with his humor. They may not always say I think he's the funniest guy. But they will always say, I think he was a great guy. And that trickled down from the top to the people I dealt with. I would say not everybody, but the preponderance of people who worked for him were great and kind. You don't get that in TV. You know, for all these people saying, no, it's not cost effective. Well, guess what? Colbert paid a fair wage. And listen, I don't want to bash Byron Allen because I'm looking to get booked on that one. But listen, the Byron Allen show, I promise you, they're paying cheaper rates. They're not paying all the union rates. I mean, this show employed hundreds of creative people. It brought 500 people a day into New York City to go buy things from the friggin' pizza shop over there, the luggage store over there, the expensive sushi store over there, the Starbucks over there, where I think Luigi Mangioni's Luigi Mangione had his coffee before he did the shooting, but that's a whole other story. So my last show at The Late Show was about 3 weeks ago, and I've partly been thinking that should be my retirement show in New York City, my last warm-up gig in New York City. I have a couple of other ones booked, but I think at the end of the day, that was the last good one. You know, I mean, obviously, I'm desperate for money, so I'm not really retired, but in my heart, was that the moment where I changed my attitude on my old career, being a warm-up comedian, blah, blah, blah. We'll be emotional later, but I wanted to thank, windy, is the selfie stick gonna blow down? But I wanted to thank my friends Tanya and Bjorn and the gang at The Late Show for letting a guy from Long Island have a taste of a crazy dream. And this is a real one for me as a comedian. Hosting The Late Show was my dream gig. If The Late Show isn't there anymore, if the unattainable dream isn't there anymore, do I still want to be a comedian? You know, that'll be a powerful clip for you. But that's my thought for that. But I know this. The world is changing. I love entertaining people, and I want to thank Stephen Colbert. You know what? You may not like his jokes about politicians, but man, he threw himself on the sword for free speech and what he believes. And you got to give him credit for that, man. And one other Colbert story I'll tell you real quick. If my nephew Christian is listening, he'll be embarrassed by this. But I got tickets to see the Colbert Report when I guess 12, 13, 14 years ago And speeding through the story, I took my nephew Christian, who is now 33 and a lawyer, but he was 16 at the time. And Stephen took time to talk to my nephew and made me look like a big shot while I sort of stood back and talked to my friend Tanya, who got me the tickets. And I know this sounds silly, but Stephen, you made me look like a big shot with my nephew for a long period of time. You gave me a taste of my dream. Good luck in your next chapter. Good luck to everybody who worked in this building, whether it be for Letterman or for the UCP telethon, or for Colbert or Ed Sullivan. You all got to live a little bit of a dream, and this is my challenge to you guys. My challenge to CBS: don't let it end with a cheap syndicated show. This was an event. This was an event. Do what you got to do, but don't let it end here. And by the way, Byron Allen, I am very available for bookings. Until next time, Pete. Until next time, show love where love can be shown. And good night, Ed Sullivan Theater. Good night, New York.